Hi, my name is Yin Gao, and welcome to Dr. Gao's classroom. I'm a professional philosopher, and I love classical Chinese poetry. I have been translating classical Chinese poetry for the last few years with a colleague of mine. I would love to share my knowledge on the subject with you. Your enjoyment is my command. The upcoming Sunday is the Lunar New Year Day, and it is the Rabbit Year. So, happy Rabbit Year! I would like to wish all my dear subscribers and all my audience who continue to watch my videos and support me a very happy Rabbit Year. I would also love to say to all of you, 恭喜发财, or wish you prosperity and happiness in the new year. Today, I'm going to introduce a new genre of poetry for romantic love. That is, poems celebrating romantic love between two men. There are not a lot of classical Chinese poems for gay romance, but one of the gay romance poems is so popular that even straight lovers would cite it to express their love for each other. Yes, it is the poem I cited in my very first video for this channel. I did not translate the whole poem, I just quoted a couplet from it. If you haven't watched the video, here's the link. This poem is in the title of 越人歌, or a song by a man from Yue. The reason I choose to translate this poem is the special connection between rabbit and the gay love. Do you know there is a special god for gay romance? I bet most of you probably never heard of him. Here he is. He is 兔儿神, or the rabbit god. So today, I'm going to first tell the story of the rabbit god, then I will translate the poem character by character. After that, I will tell you the backstory of the poem. I bet you would love the poem and the stories associated with the poem. If you are new to my channel, please check out my other videos on classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, or medical literature. If you like the content of these videos, please click the like button and subscribe my channel. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. If you would like to read the original text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Now, let me tell you the story of the rabbit god. The story is recorded from a book compiled around 1788 during the Qing dynasty by a scholar official named Yuan Mei, who is also a well-known poet. The book is in the title of 子不语, or Stories Confucius Won't Talk About. The title coined a line from the analysed, 子不语怪力乱神, meaning Confucius won't talk about strange things, mystery forces, chaos, or magic. So, this book collected all sorts of strange stories or supernatural phenomena. The rabbit god is just one of the stories. The story goes something like this. During the early days of the Qing dynasty, an auditor passed the civil service examination when he was very young. He was appointed as the inspector by the emperor and was traveling at Fujian province. There he met a clerk named Hu Tianbao, who fell in love with the auditor. Whenever the auditor was in his office, Hu would hang around, peeping at him. The auditor was puzzled but did nothing. A short while later, the auditor traveled to another province, and Hu followed him there. One day, Hu hid in the bathroom and peeped at the auditor when he was doing his business. The auditor got really curious and interrogated who would not confess until he was caned 3 times, saying, I saw how beautiful your honor is and could not get you out of my mind. Although I knew you are the laurels from heaven, and I, a mere mortal bird who could not possibly reach you, yet I must have lost my mind and violated you like this. The auditor was very angry and ordered to beat Hu to death. What a tragic story. Well, that's not the end of it. So, a month later, Hu entered the dream of his neighbor and telling him, I violated the auditor and deserve to die. However, I committed it due to my love for him. This is different from the criminal who harm others. When I went to the netherworld, the officials and clerks laughed at me and teased me. But they were not angry with me. The officials of the netherworld appointed me as the rabbit god in charge of all love affairs between men. You may build a temple for me to protect you. The people from Fujian province had a costume for gay lovers to be swan brothers and live together thereafter. Once the gay men in the village heard of the dream, they all donated money to build a temple. Once the temple was built, they find the rabbit god was very helpful and answers all their requests for romance. The story is wonderful because it expresses conflicting values that I would like to comment on. The class gap between the auditor and the clerk was huge during imperial China. The social status of clerks were very low, while the scholar officials were part of the ruling class. It was a serious crime for a clerk to sexually harass an official. So the punishment meted out was appropriate at the time, just as Hu acknowledged himself in his confession. The second point is an easy case to make. The auditor was both very strict and a bit naive. He had no idea that a man could fall in love with another man. All he felt was violation inflicted upon him by this lowly clerk, and maybe a little ashamed of it too. His Confucian education made him believe that being attractive to another man was a sign of lack of masculinity and weakness of character on his part. The male beauty was regarded with mixed feeling during imperial China. On one hand, male beauty was celebrated as representation of good character. But male beauty could also be regarded as lack of masculinity. This line between being handsome and being less masculine was not clear cut. For a man to be attractive to other men could be regarded as a sign of weakness in character or even lack of integrity, especially when a scholar obtains his political power not by his talent and ability, but by his good look or sexual favor to his superiors. The third point I would like to make is that gay romance was often tolerated during imperial time in China as a personal eccentricity, as long as the affair did not interfere with the stability of the power structure either at the court or at home. There were many emperors who were openly bisexual and took on male lovers. When the emperors were competent running the state affair, his love affairs with male lovers were tolerated. However, their lovers were often blamed if the emperor neglected the state affair, even if his lovers did not commit any offense. Some of the emperor's male lovers were quite talented scholars or even military generals, such as the martial emperor of Han Dynasty, Liu Che's lover Han Yan and Wei Qing. Han Yan was an excellent archer and military strategist who helped his emperor Liu Che win many battles. And Wei Qing was one of the best generals in Chinese history. However, their reputation were somewhat tarnished because their affairs with the emperor. The last point I would like to make is that the commoners' views on gay romance were substantially different from that of officials. This is reflected by the drastic different attitude towards the male-to-male attraction by the auditor and that of Hu Tianbao's neighbors. They not only did not despise Hu for his intoxication towards the auditor, they actually showed deep sympathy towards him and believed the story of him being appointed as the rabbit god to bless and protect the gay romance, and built a temple for him and worshipped him. There are still temples for Hu Tianbao in the Chinese communities around the world today, such as in Taiwan and Malay, etc. Now, let's read the poem 越人歌, or the song of a man from Yue. 越人歌 was recorded in a book in the title of 说愿, or the Garden of Thoughts by Liu Xiang, a scholar official of the Han Dynasty around 17 BC. The book recorded a story about a prince of Chu who visited his fiefdom for the first time, and a boatman sang a song to him. Now, let me tell you a bit of history of the state of Chu. As you can see from these maps, Chu started as a very small state in the early years of the spring-autumn period around the 8th century BC. And over time, it conquered many of the small states and became a strong state among the 7 remaining states by the end of Warring State period in the 3rd century BC. It was during the early 7th century King Zhuang of Chu conquered the state of Yue, indicated by the second circle around the green area located in the area around today's Shanghai. In 529 BC, the state of Yue was given to Prince Heigong, or Black Arm, as his fiefdom. It was during this visit the boatman sang the song to him. Now, let me read the poem in Chinese first. 今夕何夕兮，千舟中流。今日何日兮，得与王子同舟。蒙羞披好兮，不止垢耻。心机烦而不觉兮，得之王子。山有木兮木有枝，心悦君兮君不知。Now, let's look at the first 2 lines. 今夕何夕兮，千舟中流。今日何日兮，得与王子同舟。今夕 means tonight. 何 means what. 夕 means night. Xi is the exclamation mark. Qian means pool. Zhou means boat. Zhong means middle. Liu means flow. Here it refers to the river. 今日 means today. He again means what. 日 means day. Xi is the exclamation mark again. De means get to. Yu means with. 王子 means prince. Tong means same. Zhou means boat. So the 2 lines can be translated as tonight, what a night. I pulled my boat to the middle of the river. Today, what a day! I get to be in the same boat with my prince. 蒙羞披好戏，不止够耻。心机烦而不觉兮，得之王子。蒙 means risk. 羞 means humiliate. P means be treated. 好 means well. 西 is exclamation mark again. 不 means don't. 只够 means slender. 耻 means shame. 心 means heart. 几烦 refers to a mood that is both fearful and excited. Just like when you confess to your love interest for the first time. You know you're excited because you would find out whether she or he likes you. But you are also fearful because he or she might reject you. means and. 不 means can't. 绝 means stop. 西 is the exclamation mark again. 得 means get to. 之 means meet. 王子 means prince. So the two lines can be translated as, You treated me so well. Risking humiliation, I don't care if I'm slandered. I'm so excited and can't stop myself that I have gotten to meet my prince. 山有木兮木有枝，信越君兮君不知。山 means mountain, 有 means have, 木 means tree, 西 is the exclamation mark again, 木 means tree again, 有 means have, 枝 means twig, 心 means heart, 悦 means delight, 君 means you, 西 is the exclamation mark again, 君 means you, and 不 means don't, 知 means no. So the two lines can be translated as clear as a tree having twigs and a mountain having trees. My heart delights in you, yet you don't know. It is reported in Liu Xiang's book that the boatman sang this poem in his local dialects. And the Prince Black Arm had someone translated the lyrics for him. Rather than being offended by this unrequited affection like the auditor from the Rabbit God story, the prince embraced the boatman and put silk on his neck according to the true culture. Apparently, Prince Black Arm understood the Yue culture and respected it, and he responded with the ritual from his own culture. There is no historical record indicating that Prince Black Arm was gay. He did what he did out of respect and appreciation of the affection from his subjects. It was a very smart move to win over his subjects, given the fact that the region was conquered quite recently. These facts withstanding, historically, the cultures of the most regions in China were quite open to the gay love. This might have something to do with the rather fluid conception of genders in Chinese philosophy. As you might already know, male is regarded as having more yang quality while female more yin qualities. However, whether one is male or female, a person has both yin qualities and yang qualities. Whether a person expresses the yin qualities or the yang qualities depends on the situation he or she is in. For instance, a scholar official would not hesitate to express his yin qualities by assuming a female role towards a senior official. I'm going to translate a poem by a scholar official who did just this in a poem next week. Another typical example is the mother-son relationship. A mother often takes the role with more yang qualities with her young son, such as making important decisions on his behalf, initiating most of the events related to him, and play the leading role in most of their interactions. However, an adult son would exhibit more yang qualities with his elderly mother, reversing the roles. The same goes with the romantic relationship. During imperial China, a romantic relationship with another man would not necessarily undermine a man's masculinity, as in the case in today's West. It is the role he played in the relationship that might have a bit of impact on how much of a man a gay man thinks he is. Romantic love does not command as much attention in Chinese poetic tradition as in the West, and there is much less poem dedicated to gay romance. I have done quite a bit of research trying to find more such poems, and I did. I might make a few more videos on gay love poems in the future. Next week, I'm going to translate a poem by a poet named Zhang Ji, where he took a female voice. If you're new to my channel, please check out my other videos on classical Chinese poetry, philosophies, or medical literature. If you like the content of these videos, please click the like button and subscribe my channel. I also offer one-to-one online lessons on these subjects. If you would like to read the original text with me, please contact me. Here's my email address. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.